Alrighty, so we're closing down day 2 of practice here at Beaver Lake for the 5th stop of the FLW Tour. This one presented by General Tire. We got Tracy Adams. Tracy, you seem to always catch him at Beaver Lake. You seem to catch him at places like this. I remember you at Lewis Smith the other year, really catching them. Is it going well again?
You know, not what I expected.
Really?
The water, I don't know, it came up whatever 3 or 4 feet on Friday, and I just don't think they've got over it yet, or at least for what I'm doing. You know, I would have thought maybe today you'd start seeing a lot of new ones coming in to spawn, and I'm not seeing that. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I mean, yesterday morning I had a lot of bites early, and then by 11:30 I couldn't get a bite.
Really?
So I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I can't explain what's going on. And then today I had a few bites early, and then I went for a while and didn't get anything, and then all of a sudden I had like 5 in a row, and I thought, yeah, I'm back on them again. and then nothing for an hour. So I don't know. You know, I'm doing the typical things I do here: shaky head, wacky worm, all that stuff, and and it works at times, but it's not.
Sometimes
I can't get it to work all day. I don't know. I'll just go back out there tomorrow. We got one more day, and see if I can put something together.
Alrighty. In your mind, what do you think? What stage do you feel like the fish are predominantly in, or have you not figured it out? Because I've heard that we got a lot of pre-spawn fish. I've heard that we've got a lot of post-spawn fish. I've heard there's a lot of fish spawning. We've got this water that came up and like covered a lot of beds. What's your? Do you have a general idea? Is it just, you know, 30% of everything, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a little bit of everything, but I mean, it's got to be a lot of them bedding. I mean, if you look at the trees, the leaves are out, and I'm sure a lot of them we're not seeing. You know, I don't know if there's a lot of post-spawn, at least where I'm at. I'm not seeing any fry at all. And you know, even if the water comes up, there's a lot of them garden fry. They're going to go right to the bank immediately.
On the bank, in the bushes.
Right, exactly. And I've not saw any fry whatsoever. So that makes me think there's not a whole lot of post-spawn, at least where I'm fishing at anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I guess there's probably a lot of them spawning. I mean, I know there's a few. I know where there's 4 or 5 at, and a couple of them are new ones. I mean, they're in like 2 feet of water.
So they've come up since the water came up.
And then I know where there's like 3 that are in like 6 feet of water. So I imagine they were there, you know, before it, you know, they were a couple feet deep before it came up. So, but yeah, a lot of the creeks are kind of dingy. I mean, they're not muddy, nothing like it was last year. Yeah, I'm sure up the river is, but it, you know.
Oh yeah, up the river's chocolate milk.
Yeah, but it's not stained like it was. I mean, last year it was stained all the way to Starkey. I mean, I've never seen that. That's got to be a first.
All right. This year, so you've got clear water, you've got some fish, at least some fish bedding. Have you like run into any smallmouth? Have you looked for any smallmouth, or is that more off your plate? You're trying to focus on the green ones?
No, I think I'll probably fish for some smallmouth, more than likely before it's over with.
Okay.
I hadn't really put my mind to it yet, but there's some places that I usually can catch some, and it looks like I'm gonna need them. Unless it changes tomorrow, it looks like I'm gonna have to go after them.
Alrighty, well, I guess here's hoping that you you go after them, and you know it works out, and you go after them in the tournament, and it works out again, because I know you're on a lot of fantasy fishing teams. Yeah. Because you're priced well, and you've got a great history here.
Yeah, hopefully I won't let them down.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by, man.
Thanks.
Alrighty, next man up here is Chad Warren, hot off a great finish in the Coast FLW Series at Grand Lake. Chad, you drove, I guess it's like a couple hours really, to go from, maybe less, to go from Grand over to Beaver. How's she treated you these first 2 days of practice?
Yesterday, I got here about 9 o'clock, kind of slept in a little bit, and got over here, and it was a tough day for the start. I kind of went up into some of the dirtier water and didn't get many bites. I think I caught 1 keeper yesterday. Today, I kind of stayed mid-lake, and I kind of figured a few things out. I don't think it's a winning deal, but I think there's some fish moving up, and I saw a few of them today. Had 1 good one, and figured I had to catch a limit of spots. So
never hurts to have a limit, that's for sure.
No, I don't think it's the winning deal yet, but it's not too bad so far.
All right.
It's fishing pretty tough.
All right, well, I wish it was just, you know, firing on all cylinders for you, but it can't always be that. Can you let me into the up the river stuff just a little bit? Even though you didn't catch fish up there necessarily, what's What's the water color like? Is there like a lot of trash around, or is it, you know, pretty navigable stuff?
I got up there yesterday, and there's definitely a pretty defined mud line, or there was yesterday. And the farther you got, it seemed like the more trash there was and the more mud there was. But
okay.
It seemed like once you got back into some of the creeks, it kind of cleaned back up a little bit, at least what I call fishable dirty.
All right, that makes sense.
Tomorrow my plan is to go back up there and try to figure out how to get a bigger bite.
Okay.
I think it could be one up there. I
mean, yeah, it has been in the past. I mean,
right.
You know, Canterbury won it up there just last year.
Right.
Granted, different conditions, but.
I still think those big fish are up there. I think it's if you can figure out how to get them to bite, I think you can win it up there. That's what I'm going to try to do tomorrow.
All right. You told me a minute ago you'd never been to Beaver Lake before, but you've fished a lot of other Ozark type lakes. You obviously got a lot of comfort on Grand, which at least for Matt Airy seems to translate really well.
Right.
Have you felt like lost out there, or do you really feel like you've got a pretty good idea of at least how you want to approach it?
No, it reminds me a lot of Grand. It looks a lot alike, and a lot of transitions and things like that. And that's kind of how I approach it today. I expected that Grand tournament. I expected to go out there and throw a jig a lot and get bit, and I couldn't do that. And I've thrown a jig quite a bit here, and I haven't seemed to be able to get a good bite on a jig here either. So at Grand, it was a Cinco was the deal. I mean, that was a good way to catch a quality fish, and I just haven't quite figured that out here yet. I figured out how to catch some fish, and I know there's a lot of fish. You know, those fish were spawning and
excuse me,
when the water was 4 foot lower, and it come up, you know, a couple days ago, and I think there's some fish that are starting to move up into that flooded water and trying to do their thing up there.
All right. Do you think that's the kind of thing where you'll see more fish every day moving into that as the water sort of stabilizes a little bit more?
You bet. Yesterday I wasn't in places, you know, the water wasn't clean enough to see them where I was at, but today I think some of the fish that I saw had just got up there.
All right, cool. Well, I guess even if you don't really super dial it in tomorrow, that could bode well for Thursday when you get into some of that stuff and all of a sudden there's even more fish coming up there, right?
Yeah, I found an area today where some fish were moving up and moving up to spawn in that shallow flooded stuff. And I looked all over places similar to it and I couldn't find it, but I think if you find a couple of good areas, there's definitely going to be some fresh fish moving in there to do their thing.
Cool. Well, man, thanks for stopping by and good luck out there.
Thank you.